Big Friendly Letters is a production of Hyperreal Media Group. Check us out at hmgllc.shop. hmgllc.shop. If you want to support this and many other fine podcasts, check us out at patreon.com/hyperrealmg. And you can find us on Twitter, twitter.com/BFL42, at BFL42. And as always, you can join the chat and try to distract us from making the show over on our Hyperreal Media Group Discord.
And I can say sha 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 sha.
Welcome back to Big Friendly Letters, the conversational podcast between creative minds. I'm your host, Bite-Sized AC, and with me, as always, award-winning horror novelist, JJ Phillips. JJ, what up?
Hey.
And then we want to let you guys know we brought, for you listeners, a special guest. We have a haiku death master on with us today, Mr. Brewer. What's up?
Greetings. I should be rolling this out in 575, but just good evening for now.
There you go. There you go. Now, if you are consider yourself to be an aficionado of the mechanical typewriter, this is the dude who will show you how to play that thing. Like you ever see a saxophone, right? You ever see Bill Clinton play a saxophone? Okay. Have you seen Kenny G play a saxophone? Big difference, right? So me on a typewriter is sort of like, you know, just and then like some things come out. But you put Brewer on a typewriter, death haikus come out, like deathmatch haikus.
I could tell you so much about that
We're
typewriter.
talking like an old-fashioned typewriter?
Yeah, that
Yes.
is a Oliver number 5 right there, the side strike going in the chat right now.
Isn't that, I told you, it's crazy.
Oh
It's crazy.
My God.
Roughly 1915, I think.
Those.
You know,
I
there's
don't
no
remember them personally, but I do.
There's no backspace on a typewriter. Well, there is backspace,
Oh.
but it doesn't actually correct anything.
Huh. So there's no time machine, is what you're saying.
Right.
Yes, for sure.
It
Miss
has the
Phillips.
backspace and the whiteout that used to come with it.
I mean, you know, if you got the little jar of whiteout, yeah, you can smear some whiteout on there, but it's better to just type a big capital X over it and keep going.
The first typewriter I ever had like if you hit the shift, it had like a tape roll of whiteout that the button would hit the whiteout because you would backspace and then you'd take your mistake and you'd type the same thing over it and that would white it out.
Right.
And then you go back again and fix it. That was probably after this version that you're talking about.
That was technology on the march. It was definitely an improvement over the old fashioned, oh, I screwed it up, I'll just have to get a new piece of paper and start over again.
Oh man, that sounds incredibly labor intensive. And I am so glad I live in the future. Let me just put that out there.
Well, computers have made things a lot easier. I mean, gosh, I remember getting like writer's cramp and just being like, why did I have to choose this? Why couldn't I choose something that didn't involve, arthritis at an early age?
See, I think what's going to happen is that we're like sometime far in the future, right? They're going to be sort of researching how the AI machines took over and dominated the human race for 100 years. And they're going to look at pictures of like this typewriter and be like, why? Like, well, they've been teaching this thing for hundreds of years. Of course they got, like the march of technology from typewriters to computers to like chips being implanted to the AI robots taking over is not a far leap if you're me.
Oh, actually, absolutely. Skynet.
Not a far leap at all. I'm sorry, Tony. Go ahead.
Skynet is already a thing. They just announced today that they were using they used drones in Syria that were not connected to a human pilot. They just kind of sent a drone off with its own little AI brain and said, "Go kill the bad guy." And they're not sure if it killed anybody, but it went on a mission and came back.
That is so like because Skynet seemed like a good idea in the movie, right? So why not replicate the success of that particular program?
You could not make a typewriter do that. I mean, if worst case scenario, you could throw a typewriter at a Syrian and do some damage.
Yeah, but those things are heavy. Let's be real. Like if you really sort of like, put it on your shoulder, took a couple of deep steps and launched it, you could do some damage with that.
I'm imagining an old B-29 with the bomb bay doors open, just raining Oliver number fives down from the sky, just raining thousands of them down on the peasants below.
Dun, 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 dun. So, JJ, totally have to talk to you about this. I saw you posted a thing saying that if you're near or around Youngstown, Ohio, they're looking for zombie extras for a film. And I was going to ask you, is that a project you're connected to, or because you shared it? So I was sort of wanting to be like, ooh, I wonder, is that part of is that next project coming up, or is that something different?
Oh no, this is not anything to do with me. Linda Weaver,
Oh, right on.
yeah, Linda Weaver is an agent, and she has her own agency, and she is a really really nice person. I actually really enjoyed talking to her and getting to know her and everything like that. And she basically was promoting her agency and everything like that. And it was right before I had signed with my domestic U.S. agent Heyman Heyman Agencies. But she was trying to get me to sign with her first, and that didn't happen. I ended up signing with another agency. But she, as a person, is really really amazing. I don't know anything about the movie or what is going on with that. I just shared it because, quite honestly, I mean, she's just a really nice person, and if you want to be an extra in a thingy, there you go.
Okay. But so now I've got some surprise news for you. Not to do with that. That's on disc. Like we're in probability drive. We're doing a different thing now. So sorry. Here's this is the best. I'm gonna record that piece and I'm putting it out as a how to segue a podcast section. Just that. I think that's perfect. But also wanted to tell you that you have done some horror movies, obviously, right? You've been in them, you've produced, talked about that to great length. Mr. Brewer has also been involved. Mr. Brewer, what was your zombie project?
So I was, among other things I've done in the past, I was a roller derby announcer for 8 years with the Bleeding Heartland Roller Derby down here in Bloomington, Indiana. And in 2010, I wrote and co-directed and co-produced and co-starred in the world's first roller derby zombie romantic comedy called Eight Wheels of Death. It was a short film, about a 40-minute film that involved roller derby and zombies and love.
Of course. Well, yeah, love ties the story together. What do you think, JJ? Does that not sound like
that sounds
that sounds like your thing, right? That sounds like your kind of thing.
It sounds like something I would enjoy. Yeah.
I always tell people that if you like roller derby, or if you like zombies, or if you like B horror movie, oh, there it is. There's the blurb. Or if you like, B horror movie, if you like any two of those three things, Eight Wheels of Death is definitely something you should watch. I think you'd really enjoy it.
And if you enjoy two out of those three things, therapy is probably better, and then watch the movie.
Oh boy.
See, I know JJ knows she's groaning because JJ is like on the other side of the horror spectrum from me. I will not go to dinner at JJ's house because she scares me. She legitimately scares. If you've read her book Parental Bloodshed, it's to know that those things took place in her mind is like, I'll do the podcast with you like over the internet, but I'm not coming to your house. Like that's why she's groaning. Is because it's me doing like a puppet runaway from her house, like, nah.
That puppet is the cutest puppet ever, though. I have to admit, I was like not insulted that you wouldn't come over to dinner. I was more like, oh my god, that puppet is so goddamn cute.
I know, it's like the best way to tell somebody knows with a puppet. I found out.
With a running away puppet.
Yeah, with a running away puppet, just running away in total fear.
Yeah,
it's still like, oh, but it's cute though.
It's adorable. It's adorable. It's like
adorable.
You can turn me down anytime as long as you use the cute running away puppet.
Exactly. I'm gonna take. You know what I gotta do? Just I gotta take a scooter off of slow mode in the Discord chat because like I had been meaning to do it. but every time he complains about it, it's sort of a little funnier for me. So like, keep forgetting to kind of not forget to do. Oh, let's do this. Let's make it so Scooter can chat faster. While we're working on that, also in our Discord chat over at the HMG LLC Discord, we've got a trailer for 8 Wheels of Death linked in the Discord from the YouTube channel if you want to check out the project in which we're just. So what we can do is you can take if you've seen or heard of Whip It, and then you take and you put some zombies, you put some love, you put some comedy, a little action in there, and you throw it all around a roller derby track. You shake it up, and then you kill it. Bury it 3 days in a cemetery, full moon, dig it up, bring it back from the dead. That is, sort of kind of like 8 Wheels of Death, kind of. But not, I mean, just watch the trailer, probably better.
These were, there's all different kinds of zombies, and these were, what would you call them? These were like infection zombies. These were the slow shamblers, except, once you put skates on them, then they can go a little faster.
That's incredible. I love it.
Coordination with the skates.
Ooh, how's that work out?
If you've seen roller derby, there's not too much difference between roller girls who are zombies and those who are not zombies. They're pretty bloodthirsty and tenacious, and they like to eat each other. Oh,
I have a couple friends of mine that used to do that. That's awesome.
It's the first real joke on this show, and neither of us did it. I'm not surprised. To be honest, that's literally the best joke that's ever been on the show. You can steal it, but I'm going to tell people that after you steal it, I'm going to tell people you really got it from me. Like I'm just going to be like, yeah, well, she got that from me though.
Actually, you can make the post, and then we'll both claim it, and that way nobody knows who did what.
It's too late. Scooter's already scheduled that post to happen tomorrow. So that joke's already...
He's horrible that way, by the way. You cannot get anything by him.
Crazy.
Yes, but no,
incredible.
I think it's awesome. I think that whole roller girls are awesome. I had a couple friends of mine that actually do that or did that, and they're fierce. They're kind of scary.
It was a wonderful, wild 8 years to be a part of. Especially, we're kind of on the ground floor of the most recent Renaissance that started around 2006 or so, when it was really just started happening all across the country, and to see it just spread everywhere, not unlike a zombie infestation, was really amazing to be a part of. So.
And yeah, you're 100% correct, because I have a roller derby team in my town, and that's not something I could have said 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So it's definitely having a renaissance period for sure. JJ, you got a book coming out. Guess who else has a book coming out? Well, okay, so let's clarify. JJ has a book out, award-winning horror novel, Parental Bloodshed. That's out. Scooter will make links. But, however, also... one of the things we talk about on this show regularly is how's the sequel coming? JJ, how's the sequel to the book coming?
My god, this is so not nice, man. I thought we were.
I know, it's literally my favorite part of the show, though.
Oh, it's coming.
Is this just a regular feature where you just kind of poke her about the book?
Absolutely, 100%.
Oh, fantastic!
Now, this is him basically being my, I don't know, lit teacher or some bullshit.
No, it's even worse. Like it's that first time you're in a lit class and you go to like the reading circle and you've never been to one before. Like they call it, the workshop, or was like the nice name for it now. And then you like sit in that circle and you like do your thing and you're like, oh, they're probably going to have some really positive things to say. And then they're like, but I'm the dude that's like, though, I really want to know how's it coming on chapter 2. And you're like, dude, come on, man. We just finished chapter 1. Right, in draft form, and you're like, where's the next piece? I'm that guy.
Yeah, it's horrible.
You're welcome. Hey, thanks, you're welcome. You're so welcome. But, Mr. Tony, Mr. Brewer, you have a book coming out, man. Tell us about it. The title got me right away. Right away, the title, I was like, oh.
New book is dropping this week. It is called The History of Projectiles. It's a chapbook. It's a poetry chapbook. I do one of these every once in a while. Mostly the way I put... books of poems together is, publish individual poems in journals and whatnot for a few years, and then, put it together with some performance pieces or some unpublished things, give it a title, that's a book. And it's usually a little bit longer. The chapbooks I've done tend to be on a theme, and they tend to be all written together as one and submitted all as one thing, as one unpublished thing. And this is, the history of projectiles. It's kind of if I had to describe it in 3 words, it would be firearms, smoking, and voyeurism.
That's awesome.
Which part are you voyeuristic? Is it voyeuristic firearms? Oh man, now I'm in. When's it come out? Where can we get it?
It is coming out soon. It's we just put in the order, so it should be showing up. I'll get my copies in a couple of weeks, but I think I will have the link available in a couple of days from Alien Buddha Press. Check those guys out. It's a small press out of Arizona, and they published a couple of friends of mine. I blurbed a couple of books for them and sent them some things, and we went from there. So
that is pretty cool. So I have to ask though, when is the sequel coming out? When is the next book coming? When can we expect the next thing?
I told you.
I actually have I've got another one in the works. Like I said, the way the other kind of book that I put together, where you publish a bunch of stuff and then you put that together with some unpublished things. And I've got another one in the works. I'm going to try and get another one out this year. That was one of the upsides to being locked down and in quarantine for so long is I've said this several times. The solitude was wonderful. The isolation got a little difficult at times, but the solitude was great for writing. I did a ton of writing, and I especially did a ton of editing because I write fairly all the time, but the editing, you got to get in the head, you got to get in the right mindset for it, and you have to devote the time to it too. And so I was able to devote time to lots of editing. So I've got a lot of stuff in the queue right now.
That's awesome. Also, there's another thing I was to ask you about. Now that we are we're at that end of the pandemic stage. We're not really doing that thing anymore. We're starting to see live shows come happen again. Do you have performances coming up again? Is that a thing that you're about to get out and do again?
Cautiously, and mostly because venues are still being cautious, and I'm good with that. I host a reading series actually tomorrow on Facebook Live as well as Zoom. I host a spoken word series that used to be in person, and we've been locked down for about a year and a half now. And so I have a few of those that personally that I'm doing. I'm the featured artist for. Let's see, I have one coming up June 15th. It's called SpoFest, Spoken Word Fest. That's based in Missouri, but it's has moved online. And I think my first live thing is in July in Bell, Missouri. Actually, last March when everything got shut down, I was actually on a book tour for my previous book, and a friend of mine who had just put out a book, and we were doing a bunch of readings together, and we had just done a reading in Urbana, Illinois on March 9th, which was a Tuesday. And by the end of the week, we were locked down. I got sent home from work, and et cetera, et cetera. And so, so my first live reading, I've done a couple of things in person in the past year or so, but it's been super sporadic. So, Tim and I are trying to put the tour back together starting in July.
Oh, that's gonna be so dope. And for those of you who don't know or haven't been exposed to it, Tony does a lot of fun stuff that's live. There's poetry slams. We talked about the poet. It's a death. Explain the haiku thing to me again, because I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to drop the ball.
So, a colleague of mine, I'm honored to be a chapter of his dissertation. Dr. Adam Hensbo, he calls it Dr. Hensbo's Haiku Hullabaloo. He does these things. He does these haiku death matches, and he's hosted them. Honestly, he's hosted them all over the world. He was doing one with some cats in Dubai earlier this year, and he did one for a special program in Indianapolis. So it was mostly Indianapolis poets, and he wrote me into it to be part of it too. And it's a haiku death match. It's each round is best. What is it? I think it's best 3 out of 5. And you just go back and forth, spitting haiku at each other. And you can write them in advance, or you can come up with them as you go. Most of us, I think, wrote them out ahead of time, and that's basically what it is. You throw haiku back and forth at each other.
JJ, does that not sound incredible?
Actually, I think we used to do something like that a long time ago at the Canal Public House.
Well, what did you wait? So what did you guys throw down on? Was it haikus?
I don't know. I don't remember because, like I said, I accidentally went to it once.
Wait, so were you invited? Were you accidentally not invited, and then you accidentally showed up? Because that's different.
I thought it was gonna. Well, my friend has a band, and I was going to go see the band, but I didn't know it. I think I got the time wrong or something, and they weren't finishing up, but they were at the very end of their thing that they were doing, which I think was something like that, and then they left, and then everybody set up for the band and we rocked out.
Right on.
I used to go to a poetry slam in Dayton that overlapped in the same venue with drag queen bingo. So you would show up to do a poetry slam, and you would be sit there for the last 15 minutes of drag queen bingo. Pretty amazing.
That does actually sound like a lot of fun.
Wait, I'm so down for drag. Can we do drag queen poetry slam haiku death match? Yes.
Yes.
We can get. Yes, we've got to confirm. We can get the Sisters of the. Oh, who are they? Do you know down? So we have this in my town. There's a small bookshop down on Main Street. It's called Main Street Books, right? As as one does. Small, independent bookseller. But a lot of the local, regional, and sort of Midwest authors are on sale there, right? So that's you could potentially find Tony's work there. There's a lot of local Indiana people, and there they have this book reading that they do for kids. And it's done. I don't know. Oh, I gotta look it up. The Sisterhood. Who does that? It's the Sisterhood of what is it though? What's the name? Scooter can find it before I find it. So can we get those drag queens go? Can we get the the sisters to do it?
That's awesome. They do that. They do that here in Bloomington, or they have done it before. Had the forget what they call, like drag queen story time. Yeah.
Yes. So we can get the drag queen story time. We can get them to do poetry slam, haiku, death match, bingo.
That sounds like so much fun. That actually really does sound like a full night too.
Zombie roller derby.
That's
what we got to add to. Yes. They're like skating around the track trying to do haikus. Like I amuse myself, and that's what's important. JJ, I got to ask you about She Burns in Hell too, man. Where are we at? What's going on? Give us info. Do we have info? Is there any info you can give us?
Honestly, I don't really have any info right now. I don't know really much of anything. I have dates that I set aside because my manager told me to, because those are the dates that we're supposed to be filming. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. And quite as long as I know where I'm supposed to be, and I guess
right.
that's kind of how I work. I hate to say it like that because it kind of makes me sound almost pretentious, but I'm not. It's just if I book myself, I will double book myself. I'm just infamous for doing that. So that's why I have my management take care of it, because otherwise I will I'll be obligated to be in Houston at the same time. So.
Yep, there's only one of you, because I know that Scooter has tried to clone you, but he has yet been unsuccessful. Although you've cloned yourself multiple times on social media, I've noticed. But other than that,
okay, so those are accidents. So I keep having accidental. Okay, so I have like accidental Instagrams and accidental Twitters and accidental Facebooks and accidental everything. I promise you,
like accidental posting or accidental accounts that you've created.
Accidental accounts that I created because I couldn't get into my other account.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. So I have I think we're up to 3 or 4 Twitters now.
Yeah. Do you have a whole tree?
Do you still use them all? Just use them in different ways?
Yeah, now I do, because I was able to get a hold of so basically what happens is that I get locked out because I can't remember my password. So I accidentally usually create a new one. I don't mean to do it. Somehow I do. And so I have this new one. So I hurry up and I write down what I just created. And then And then like I don't know, like a couple days later, I I'll get the I don't know the idea that oh I should probably ask and see if I can get my password. And so I'll go I'll go to the other page and I'll ask. Well, I usually end up asking for my username and my password, and I usually have a hard time figuring out which email it went to. And then so but basically all my emails end up having set up like other social media accounts by accident that now I still kind of have, and I don't know what to do with all of them. Scotty handles most of them. I have like I have my personal ones, but they're really not that personal. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah, because there's 5 of them. So how personal could they be?
Exactly. That was my point. Yeah, I can't be really personal.
Yeah, no, I got you. You're doing the cloning thing well. I know that there's probably not updates on She Burns in Hell 2 and all that, and I get that it's in production, all that kind of stuff. But I bring it up only because it's one of those things where well, first let me ask you this: if you are allowed to say, are you playing a different character in this one because you did get hit by a car in the first one in the trailer? It's not even a spoiler; like it literally happens in the trailer, right? So, is a different character in this one that you're playing? No. Okay, that's it. You don't have to.
Georgette Shires.
Okay, still Georgette Shires. That's all. That's it. We don't have to do any more. We don't have to delve into any deeper. I'm not gonna press you on the NDA, mostly because I don't want Scooter to yell at me later. But all right. So that's interesting. So you did get hit, but you can confirm, as seen in the trailer, that character did get hit by a car very convincingly.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got thrown by a really gorgeous classic Impala. Oh my gosh, that was a beautiful car.
How fast was it really going though when you shot that?
Well, okay, so we shot the scene where I did my stunt, and then we shot the car driving, and I want to say the car didn't go over 25, 30.
Okay, that's a little faster than I always thought you were going to say 5 to 7. Tony, what are you comfortable with? Tony, what are you comfortable with miles per hour car coming at your face? What's your limit?
My limit is like -2.
Minus like, parked. Please emergency brake. Yeah. So you just casually 25 miles an hour, JJ?
I mean, that's what I think it was. It was pretty. It was going good. I mean,
it was a hefty clip. It seriously was a hefty clip. It was coming kind of quick.
I get hit by a car, Tony. I really do. It's pretty awesome. Everybody, it's kind of funny because when it first came out, I was like, "Love me, hate me. Guess what? You get to watch me die."
Well,
there it is.
It sounds like you can take a hit from a car, so that good on you.
Yeah.
No, she can't. And the best part is right after her head bounces off the top, you hear him go, "All right, cut. Let's set it up. Let's go again." Like this. Are we good with one? No, we're good. She's good. You good? Yeah, I'm good. All right, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, it was pretty fun though. Actually, I really did enjoy it just because of the fact that like I got to do my own stunts, and it gave me they gave me a little bit of decent creative license. Does that make they allowed me to be creative with it? I mean, we levitated me, and it wasn't like through a harness or anything like that. It was done extremely organically, so it was kind of cool.
That's the best. So Tony, what did you do for special effects in your films? You shot it a while ago. I know that you're heavily involved in the production of special effects. How did you sort of accomplish some of those things on an independent movie budget?
No, we had zero. We had a zero budget. It was it was all volunteers. It was I think it was a lot of After Effects. It was a lot of Caro syrup of our own formula. Probably the coolest thing though was trying to figure out how to shoot footage from the middle of a pack, from the roller derby pack, as they're skating around the track. And we had a wheelchair and there's production stills of me pushing the wheelchair while the guy with the camera is on his knees with the camera pointed over my shoulder. So I'm pushing a wheelchair forward, and he is shooting over my back at the pack that is skating behind me. And I've never seen footage like that before, of even in Whip It, They had to. I'm sure they used like, yeah, that's actually pretty close there. That's me. Oh, you found it. You found the production.
He found the footage. It's actual footage in the chat room. Look at that in the Discord chat. There's actual.
That's actually really cool. I wish I could kind of do that.
You wish you could. Right? You wish you could Tokyo drift a wheelchair. Is that what?
Yeah, I wish I could. That is straight up cool.
That's intense. I've never been that good at anything in my life as good as that dude is right now, coming around that wet floor sign on this chair. Like, there's incredible. It's like F1.
We also had to work out, how do these roller girls, how do these skaters who are supposed to be wearing mouth guards, how do they deliver lines when they're, when you're supposed to have a mouth guard in? And we wanted to keep things, legal and in accordance with Women's Flat Track Derby Association rule sets and all that. And so we just, they'll just have to take it out, do the line, and then put it back in. And that's what we had them do, because not only was that consistent with the rules, but that you couldn't have people trying to talk around a mouth guard. So.
Oh yeah, no. To me, the whole experience just sounds like a little bit of a technical and logistical nightmare. With, you talk about makeup, you talk about costumes, and then you put skates and you put a wood floor. And then you sort of add some lighting, and then you start Tokyo drifting a wheelchair in front of them. Like, it sounds complicated.
The great thing too is we used a lot of actual footage from bouts that had happened from games that we had already played. It took about 2.5 years. The director and main cinematographer, he and his wife had a baby in the middle of it all. So we shot a bunch of footage, and then the baby happened. And then we kind of came back and finished the movie. So there was this kind of break in the middle where, some people had left the team. The rules for how you play roller derby had changed quite a bit in a 1.5 years, surprisingly, because it was still kind of an evolving sport. And so it's an interesting time capsule. Even though it came out in 2010, a lot of the game footage in it is from like 2008, 2009. And I mean, it's a time like they do by 2010, they did not play roller derby like that anymore. I mean, a lot of the structure of the game had changed. So it's very much a time capsule. It's a time capsule of Bloomington in like 2009, 2010, when you could get 1,000 people to come out for a roller derby game. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's an important museum piece in that regard when it comes to roller derby, right? It preserves that culture and that sport, and it's coming up, like you said, it's had a renaissance. It's it's kind of back on, getting closer to being on the forefront, and being a huge sport.
I think we kind of hit the I mean, of course we're going to Army of the Dead and all that just came out. We're zombies are still here, zombies in movies and whatnot, but we really kind of hit an apex too. The Walking Dead, I think, had just came out that Halloween when we released 8 Wheels of Death, had just come out. I think Zombieland was another year away at that point. So, but Whip It had just come out too. So roller derby was definitely in people's consciousness as a popular thing, not just something that you could go to that was kind of fringy. I mean, it was still kind of fringy, but you had this movie by Drew Barrymore that was out in theaters. So it was, kind of had some star power behind it too.
Oh yeah, incredible. So I have 2 questions. Question number 1 is for Mr. Brewer. Question number 2 is for JJ. Question 1, Mr. Brewer, when is the sequel?
Man, we talked so hard about doing a sequel. There's not going to be a sequel, unfortunately. All those people have gone away. The team here disbanded. It's all gone away. It all died. It all died. It all went away. But the sequel was going to be Biting Away, and it was going to take place at the Little 500.
Oh, in Little 5?
Yeah, we're going to call it Biting Away.
Okay, so to follow-up question for my first question, and then I will have the question for JJ. Follow-up question to my first question is, did you know that in a town that is about 3 hours away from you, we do have a roller derby team? And my follow-up question is, so if there's not going to be a sequel, I get it. When's the reboot, though?
The reboot can happen at any time. I would love to see a reboot. I would love to see someone with any kind of budget at all remake that movie and make it with something beyond, beyond Adobe After Effects. I think that would be fantastic.
Okay, so follow-up question, JJ Phillips. Can you skate? Asking for a friend. Just curious, as if you could.
Yes.
You know how to roller skate? You're a good skater. Okay, I'm just gonna leave. I'm just gonna leave it out there.
Backwards too, and I can do little turns. At least the last time I did it, I could.
You're gonna
take a hit from an Impala, so you can probably get shouldered by a roller girl.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never played that. I've never played the roller derby thing. I've had friends that have, but I've always kind of been really, really tiny.
So that's what we're gonna. That's my secret evil plan is to get to reboot this movie. If we have to shoot it on an iPhone, maybe or something, it might take 5 years, right? It might take 10 years, but that's a secret evil plan. Is we gotta reboot this roller. We have to have roller derby zombies, people. Let's go, and they've got to be drag queens. We got to get some bingo in there, some haikus for sure. Old typewriters, like this is a thing. I don't know. I mean,
I admire the heck out of the ladies that can do that, though. I will tell you right now, it's a pretty aggressive sport, which
it's incredible.
Yeah, people don't realize how aggressive and how much athleticism there is involved with what they're doing.
Oh yeah, it's true. Absolutely. There were some of them were in amazing shape by the time they were, they would skate 2 or 3 times a week, like play games 2 or 3 times a week. They would, the serious ones would work out, 5-6 days a week, doing all the conditioning that you can skate for 2 hours,
Yeah, and like I said, I have friends of mine that did roller derby for years, and I am telling you, those ladies are tough as nails, and they are athletes. And if anybody wants to argue with me about it, I will probably punch them and run away.
I'll tell you, JJ, there are some really tiny jammers out there. Those are the ones that wear the star on the helmet. Those are the ones that are scoring all the points. There's some really tiny jammers out there because you can only hit from the shoulders to the top of the thigh. And like you can't hit from behind, you can only hit from the front and from the side, from like the top of the shoulders to the top of the thigh. And so, if the smaller you are, the smaller the area that someone can leap.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All, actually,
slow.
I'm like 5'1" and I weigh like 100 pounds.
Yeah, but if you skate really fast, you just kind of zip in and out in between people.
Kind of what I was thinking. I was like, dude, I could probably go under half of these people's legs.
Right.
Yeah, you would make an incredible jammer. Oh, could we go JJ Jam? That'd be so dope.
Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
What's your skater name? Tony, we got to give her a skater. What would be her skater name?
I was really good at naming because I came up with a bunch of fake names for fake skater names in 8 Wheels of Death, and then everybody ended up using their actual names. Let's see, what would be a good one? Let's see.
Because she's a horror novelist. The name of her book is Parental Bloodshed. She's a big. Murder Inc. is one of her Twitter handles. Nightmares Inc. Nightmares Inc. Why always say murder? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Point is,
Stevie,
that's sort of
this murder happens in nightmares. It's okay.
Stevie Kink.
Oh, I love it. It's done. Stevie Kink. That's it. Well, with that, folks, it's been 42 minutes. You know what that means? That means that's it. JJ, in the meantime and in between time, where can people find you?
Well, sometimes I pop in and out of the Discord. Otherwise than that, I am reachable on my website at jjphillips.com, or you can find me on the Book of Faces or the Twitterverse or the Instagramverse. I think I just set up a TikTok, but I don't know what to do with it because it's the second one I created because I couldn't remember my password for my first one.
So set up a third one. I think there's a TikTok. You're going to have a TikTok of you setting up your third TikTok.
Yeah, and then I have a Snapchat, which I don't exactly know how to use, but it's okay. And then I do have another thing. You know what? Just get a hold of me on the Book of Faces, and I can give you the information and other stuff.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Exactly. If you want to find our Discord server, reach out to us on the Twitterverse. I'm at BiteSizedAC, and you can find me all over Facebook and all the places and all those sort of things. Mr. Brewer, in the meantime and in between time, A, where can people get the new book, and B, where can they find you?
Let's see. I don't have a link for the new book just yet, but it will be it'll be up on Amazon and I believe Lulu as well. let's see. There's a link there in the chat, but you can find me. I'm on all the social meds. I'm on the Face. I'm on the Tweet. I'm on the.
When it's so stocky, you do realize that, right?
So please do. I'll stalk you back.
All right.
And let's see. I've got a Blogspot website type thing with the links and whatnot. So just look up Tony Brewer 71.
Have you had a doctor look at that blog spot? I don't think that's supposed to be there.
They make a cream.
They make a cream for that. You don't have to live with that. I mean, you can do it if you want, but.
No, I had one of those once, the righty blogspot things, but I don't remember my username or password.
Be honest, you have two. Like, don't lie, you have two.
I'm pretty sure I do. I mean, I'm horrible with these things. I really am.
So you're never going to find JJ on social media, the real JJ. So you're definitely going to have to get a hold of me on Twitter at BitesizeAZ, and I will direct you to the actual JJ, like Indiana Jones to the Temple of Doom. I'll show you where to find the real JJ. But you also got to bring a bag of sand because there's a monkey head involved, lots of traps. It's very murderous. You might have to roller derby. There might be bingo, possibly haikus, definitely drag queens, super party. Thanks for stopping by, PFL guys. We'll check you out next week.